Greetings, children of the screen, your friendly neighborhood nerd scum here, and welcome to another edition of Carry That Weight, the Cowboy Bebop retrospective. I'm joined by...
Hello, I'm Vic.
And we took a look this time at Session 17, Mushroom Samba.
Okay, showtime.
I think it's time to blow this scene. Get everybody in the stuff together. Okay, 3, 2, 1, let's jam.
Right on, guys. So, Session 17, Mushroom Samba, finds the crew of the Bebop out of gas and out of food and in pretty dire straits, and they're just basically trying to use like the inertia of their last boost of fuel to get them to another planet so they can try to figure it all out when they are hit by another spacecraft that then just takes off, committing a hit and run. So not long after that, because they have been knocked off course, they crash land on this planet. And down there, they're basically trying to fix the ship and trying to find food. And because Ed cannot help in fixing the ship, they send her out to find food, where she encounters someone who will eventually become the bounty for this episode, who is selling illegal mushrooms. During kind of a skirmish, Ed managed to get a handful of them, but Ein eats one and starts acting a little weird. So Ed performs an experiment by leaving one mushroom out on a plate, knowing that each of the members of the Bebop crew, who are now very hungry and in varying degrees of moral, trustworthiness, just knowing that they'll go ahead and grab them, and she can see what happens. And so after that, the crew of the Bebop trip the fuck out. And then Ed sees that the guy she got the mushrooms from has a bounty on his head, so she goes out with Ein to collect the bounty. So, Vic, generally, what did you think of this episode?
This is by far my favorite. It was mostly centered on Ed and Ein, who you already know are my favorites, so of course I freaking loved the episode. But oh my god, it was fantastic.
You liked it better than Jammin' with Edward?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I did.
Fair.
It was... I love humor, and it was mostly humor, which is probably why I loved it so much.
Yeah, this was one of the earliest Cowboy Bebop episodes I saw, and it was so drastically different in tone than, like, the other things I had seen. It was definitely the thing that gave me the extra push to go from, like, this is a cool show, and I'm going to check it out when it's on, to being like, no, Cowboy Bebop is something that I need to watch, like, from beginning to end. Like, it's too interesting and too cool and too much fun. And this was I don't remember what the order I saw them in was exactly, but this is definitely, like, the second or third one I saw and the one that sold me on the series as a whole.
Yeah, if you would have shown me this episode, I would have watched Cowboy Bebop way sooner, like, on my own.
Yeah, because, like, it is an episode that you could theoretically watch on its own, like a lot of the Bebop episodes, but if you have everything that comes before it, then, like, the episode just means more, for reasons that I will get into in one of our next sections. So, Vic, what was your favorite thing out of Session 17?
Okay, I really liked the part whenever the train stopped and Ein walks up to the cow and he barks and he has subtitles like, thanks, and the cow's like, oh, no problem.
Yeah.
Fucking talking to a cow.
Right?
I don't know why that got to me so much, but it did.
Well, just because
unexpected.
It's so... Yeah, it's so out of... Like, it's another one of those things that has never happened before in the show and never happens again. Like, we never see two other animals, like, conversating. Like, and again, like, Ein is a smarter animal, and so, like, we see him interact with, like, a lot of, like, people in ways, like, it seems like he's communicating in a certain way, but no, like, they straight up talk to each other, and we get subtitles for it, and...
it was great.
Yeah, but here's the other thing, is that, like, Ein, in the episode, also eats one of the mushrooms. And even though it seems as if they've worn off, his eyes are still drawn, not the way they normally are towards the end of the episode. Like, the size of the pupil is different. So I'm not sure if the cow actually talks to him or if Ein is tripping the fuck out and thinks that the cow understands him and responds, when in reality the cow's just mooing at him like, what the fuck do you want? You know? But yeah, it's a really, really great moment that, like, punctuates, like, the end of the main momentum for a really great episode before we go into, like, the wrap-up and everything. It's really fantastic, and it's a really good moment, yeah.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Hey, mister. This here is the stairway to heaven. You know that, don't you?
Obnoxious little frog.
Right on. And as for me, my favorite thing in this session is the fact that, like, while Ed has been an integral part of the crew for a while now, and Ed is, like, a member of the Bebop, this is the first episode where, like, Ed and Ein become cowboys. We get, you know, Cowboy Ed, and we get Cowboy Ruff Ruff in Ein, because, like, again, she's helped them, like, hack and catch people and, like, do all kinds of stuff. But, like, this is the first time that we actually see her, like, in the field, trying to track someone down herself, and succeeding. Like, she puts her mind to it, she does it. Mind you, she doesn't turn him in for the reward, but, like, again, it's because she's Ed, and, like, she wasn't actually thinking about the reward. She was thinking about that they needed food, and that, like, catching a bad guy is how they get food. So she caught the bad guy, she got food, she said, fuck it, I'm going home. And then, like, yeah, it's just great. And, like, her journey through that is really great, too. Like, we get to really see all the different aspects of Ed, like, play out for us, and get to see the way that she, like, reasons outside of the tech situations we normally see her in. Like, we know she's brilliant, but, like, actually seeing her out in the field and see her, the way she adapts with things, like, really gives you a better sense of the kind of overall character that she is. Like, she's massively resourceful, even without a computer.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, it's nice, because, like, Faye had an episode like that, and then also now Ed has it, where, like, it's an episode that really solidifies them as members of the Bebop crew, and kind of is, like, the final step in them becoming, like, kind of the surrogate family that all of them are trying to build. So yeah, that is my favorite thing about it. And just the fact that Ed gets to say to Ein, like, and you'll be a cowboy woof woof.
This episode is just amazing.
It's really, really great. There's so many things. In fact, like, since we're going to have to come up with something bad in a minute, was there anything else that you want to mention real quick? Just this was awesome about it?
Everything.
Okay.
Everything was just all of it.
Yeah, and, okay, so here, my other favorite, like, that's my favorite thing about the whole episode in terms of, like, what works and what's good and, like, how it applies to, like, the whole show in a more analytical way. And a purely just, like, I enjoyed it. Like, all of the trips are cool and fun, but Spike on the stairs fucking slays me every time.
The frog.
The frog is just like, boy, don't you know this is the stairway to heaven?
Helen.
And he's just like, obnoxious
Yeah.
little frog. Like, dude, it's so good. Like, I don't know why. It's no matter how many times I watch that moment, and then we pull back and see Ed and Ein just watching them, like, sitting there like,
Yeah.
what? And Spike's just stepping on one step back and forth in place. And it's just like, it's hilarious, and, like, it's also kind of the, like, I don't know, man. It just works in every possible way. Like, Jet's one is good, where he, like, starts talking to the plants, and, like,
Fucking
like
bonsai
they
tree.
teach him, like, the nature of the universe, and then, like, at some point, we don't see why, he puts on Faye's lipstick, like, really sloppily, like a Marilyn Manson lipstick job, and then, or a David Bowie lipstick job, since that's who Marilyn Manson stole it from. But anyway, and then, like, Faye's is really fun, too. She's, like, in the bathroom swimming around, and, like, we get to see Ed observe them all. All the trips are really good, but something about, like, Spike being Spike and the way he deals with being tripped out is just awesome. I love it.
Obnoxious little frog. That's it.
Yeah, it's such a good line. I wonder how many times in this video I'm going to use that clip.
Hey, mister. This here is the stairway to heaven. You know that, don't you?
Obnoxious little frog.
So, I know it's difficult, but what, if anything, didn't work for you or made you go, what? in this episode,
If we have to nitpick,
which we are.
yes. I'm gonna go with whenever they just, like, release the entire, like, vehicle of watermelons.
Oh, you mean like when the whole point of this episode is finding food, and like Ed just like scooters past literally a truck of food that's rolling away, like food that she was just like ogling over earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, like, there's a reason for it in the story.
Yeah, obviously.
It's not in the story, but it's character motivated, and like, but no, that's kind of fair, because like any normal person would have been like, oh, well, this is easier. Like,
Yeah.
And like they already knocked out the guy who owned the truck. He's not gonna put up a fight. Just
That, and she was literally just like, oh, I want this melon.
Yeah.
And then, like, there it is. And she was like, later, bitch.
right. Not to mention the fact that like there were way more watermelons than she ends up getting mushrooms. So yeah. So yeah, no, I mean that's kind of fair, but yeah, like Ed's definitely a character though who like once she decides what she's doing, that is what she's doing. As I was saying in my bit, like she's focused on catching the bad guy to get food. Which,
Yeah.
because I think at that point it's moved beyond just getting food. As I was saying, I think that she kind of understands that being a member of the Bebop crew means going after bad guys. And,
Yeah.
like, because no one else can, she's just kind of like, oh, well, I guess it's my turn. I get to have fun this time.
Yeah.
And she does treat it very much like a game, even though she knows it's an important thing that she's doing. So, yeah. It makes sense for her character, but yeah, like, if we have to nitpick, that's not a bad one, I guess. And as for me, and again, of course, we're nitpicking here hardcore. In the episode, like, it's 20 minutes, like, give or take. You don't really have a lot of time to explore everything you would like to, but I feel that it is a real letdown that we did not get to see what was going on inside of Jet's head. Because we get to see what goes on with Spike, and it's marvelous. We get to see what goes on with Faye, and it's pretty dope and fun. And, like, also, knowing what they're experiencing makes it even funnier when we cut outside of that to show Ed and Ein watching them. But with Jet, we don't get that. We just kind of get him talking to the trees, and then him with the lipstick, and it's really funny, and it's really great. But I feel like the moment where Ed sees Jet doing those things would be just a little bit funnier if we actually, like, saw what he was perceiving or
Yeah.
heard what the trees were telling him from his point of view, you know? Like, also, like, Jet's one of the characters that we don't really learn that much about in this series, so you could have, like, worked elements of his past into the hallucination, and I have no doubt that they probably either scripted or storyboarded it, but again, like, it's a 20-minute show, and at the end of the day, you have to focus on the main story, which is really about, like, the crew getting into a situation where Ed has to go out and do a mission on her own. That's the point of the episode, so we really have to focus on that, and that's what makes the episode so awesome. So again, while it would be really cool to see that, and I feel like I missed that, I would love to see that, the episode still totally works without it, and the episode missing it doesn't actually take anything away from the episode, just makes me curious, like,
Yeah.
hey man, like, what's going on in your head, bro? What's up, Jet? What's going on in your head, man? Let me know what's up. You like that?
Could you imagine if he was really just, like, thinking about this video from the future? Yeah. Yeah. That's what the bonsai trees were showing him. This very video, and he was like, "Oh, the secrets to the universe. Got it." Yeah.
And then you know what else they
I
told
just
him?
solved it.
Jesus can't eat the bacon.
Oh. That's why he put the lipstick on. He thought it was bacon. He was like, "I'll prove it to you. Jesus can't eat bacon." Yeah.
I actually think the lipstick is a manifestation of his distrust in women. Like, basically, like, Jet builds himself as, like, a very masculine figure. Like, the outfit he wears is actually coveralls for doing mechanics work and stuff like that. Like, he lives a very streamlined, gruff existence, even though we see that, like, when he wants to dress up and look fabulous, like, he does. So, like, there was a time where he was much more in touch with his feminine side and, like, his, like, more vulnerable side. And I think that the lipstick is actually, like, him talking to the trees is like, the trees are the only like other outside of his relationship with the crew, the trees are his most nurturing relationship. Like that's where he lets his feminine and his more nurturing, caring side out. Because with the crew, he has that, but he suppresses it to a non-verbal, like almost subconscious level.
Yeah.
So I think that the lipstick is just a manifestation of like Jet through talking to the plants, like getting more in touch with like the more nurturing feminine side of himself, and then just being like, I'm a dirty whore. I'm a dirty whore.
So glad Ed was out doing something else when that was going on.
See, don't you wish we'd seen his hallucination, knowing that that's what happened?
Oh, of course.
Did you see how much legwork I put into that joke?
Yes, good job. I'm proud.
Hey, mister. This here is the stairway to heaven. You know that, don't you?
Obnoxious little frog.
The thing with the socks was weird, where like Ed can't wear socks. She's like a fucking cat or something. They have her doing so much stuff where she's like a cat that like, yeah. But anyway, I don't know. It was a really good episode, guys. We really, really enjoyed it, as we have been enjoying the rest of them. And yeah, Ed gets to become a part of the crew, and like we get to see some fun, trippy stuff, and it's definitely one of the funniest episodes that the series has to offer, where it kind of showcases all the different things the show can do again, because like there are a couple of moments that are a little bit more serious and stuff like that, and we even get like shades of like Spike's like need to go after Vicious with like another character looking for revenge, and like there are different elements that are microcosms of the show that play out in the episode, but in general it's just kind of a fun, awesome ride. So yeah, if you're looking to get into Cowboy Bebop and somehow you find this video before any of the others, maybe drop in on Mushroom Samba and check that episode out and see if that's a show that you might want to give a shot.
Do it.
Right on, guys. So thank you very much for joining us for another edition of Carry That Weight, the Cowboy Bebop retrospective.
Later.
Right on, guys. I hope you liked this video. If you did, then please leave a like and share it with some friends. Also, if you're not subscribed, make sure to subscribe and hit that little bell so you can get all the future editions of Carry That Weight when we release them. Furthermore, guys, if you'd like to follow us on Instagram or Twitter, we will have the links for that in the description below. Once again, thank you very much, children of the screen. Have a good one. Nerd Scum, out.
Hey, mister. This here is the stairway to heaven. You know that, don't you?
Obnoxious little frog.
Allez, à bientôt. See you next time.